Welcome to the Las Vegas Notsam studio. Welcome to an emergency Notsam wrestling podcast because we have feelings. Of course we have feelings. Night 2 of Wrestlemania 41 is in the books. We have a complete picture of what Wrestlemania 41 was. And I will tell you, I left dismayed. I left night 1 of WrestleMania 41. I was sad from a character perspective, meaning watching the characters, that Paul Heyman turned on Roman Reigns, but the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania was a complete work of wrestling art. The main event of night 1 of WrestleMania was everything that can be great about professional wrestling. Night 2 was different. Part of me wonders if they shouldn't have switched it. If it wouldn't have been more compelling, or you wouldn't... Look, we want a happy ending. And that doesn't always mean that the good guy wins, because on both nights the bad guy won. Except there was something that was more fulfilling about night 1. Look, night 2, the Undercard, was great. I would argue that the Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship was awesome, and Dominic Mysterio winning the title. I am so glad that I've been on this Dominic Mysterio bandwagon. And by the way, the WrestleMania recap podcast for night 2, which should be up by the time you are watching or listening to this Notsam Wrestling podcast, we had Dominic Mysterio on, his first interview as Intercontinental Champion. We had Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria on their first interview as Tag Team Champions, and a Karrion Kross segment that was, it was very interesting. I'll let you guys find that on the internet. But we had Dominic Mysterio winning the Intercontinental title and having an amazing WrestleMania moment. Karrion Kross furthering this story with AJ Styles, the return of the man Becky Lynch. And that triple threat that started the night was unbelievable. I thought that Bianca, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky way over-delivered in a match that was full of stars and people that are well-known and very capable of delivering. Then we got to the main event. And John Cena comes out, and he's got, the blacked out Tron, where it's just the Tron is just a black screen, and in white letters it says John Cena. No big entrance, no dancers, no cars, no nothing. Just John Cena coming out, didn't throw up the W or any, threw no hand gestures up to the crowd. Gave us nothing. Cody Rhodes comes out. Cody Rhodes got dirt bikes like the movie Rad, playing what sounded like it almost sounded like that Rob Zombie song, American Nightmare, which I hope at some point Cody Rhodes uses the Rob Zombie American Nightmare song, because I love that song. I love Rob Zombie. But we get the match in the ring. And Cody's entrance, it was great. And you felt, once the two got in the ring and I was out on the floor to see it, you felt like this is something big. You felt like the moment was not lost at all. And there was a buzz in the crowd the entire time. They were making noise the entire time. And then they really started cheering John Cena more than Cody and booing Cody more than Cena, which was interesting. Not wholly unexpected based on what happened on SmackDown, but interesting. And interesting, too, because even though they cheered John Cena, generally speaking, wrestling fans, at least online and in my Discord and all over the place, were not all that happy with how things went between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. You had a pretty John Cena dominant match. And I hope that at some point we find out why Cody was able to kind of power up so much against somebody like Roman Reigns, but was not able to find all that power against John Cena. You had Travis Scott interfere in the match after the referee went down, got a whole entrance and everything. That didn't, are you going to ask me if it was necessary? I guess it wasn't necessary, but what's really necessary? Like, what, you're going to have to define necessary. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it. If you did like it, whatever it was. It was Travis Scott doing his Travis Scott thing. It was a callback to what we saw before. I would say that if I had to give it more meaning than just Travis Scott coming out, the fact that John Cena looked pleasantly surprised when Travis Scott came out led me to believe that maybe the bigger picture story is that The Rock sent Travis Scott to help John Cena. Because Travis Scott came out after Cody Rhodes, I believe it was after Cody Rhodes kicked out of the top rope attitude adjustment. So it was almost like, well, if you can't get this done, I'm going to send my soldier out. I'm not going to be there, but I'm going to send my guy out. And Travis Scott came out. Because this wasn't the blow-off of the John Cena heel angle. This was chapter 1 of the John Cena heel angle. We got the table of contents. But this was the first thing he's really done as a heel. So Travis Scott interferes, but again, I didn't have a problem with it because number one, I think Travis Scott being in partnership with the WWE is cool. Look, and this isn't, I've had these for a long time. I've been wearing them all over WrestleMania, and they're not, when I bought them, I didn't think I was buying wrestling merch, I like seeing the Cactus Jack WWE collab swag all over the place this weekend in Vegas. I think it's all cool. And ultimately, Cody Rhodes gave him a crossroads. Cody Rhodes got his revenge on Travis Scott for what Travis did at Elimination Chamber. So I enjoy Travis Scott being associated with WWE, but I enjoy Travis Scott. I enjoy his music. But then John Cena goes to hit Cody with the belt. Cody gets the belt away from John Cena. He sees it coming. Cody is smart enough to see it coming, but not smart enough to see that the prophecy that John Cena gave out on SmackDown when John Cena said, you will choose to either do what they think is right or win. And when Cody had that belt, I was like, oh no, it's going to happen. This is exactly how it's going to go down. And Cody chose not to use the title, and John Cena got him, and John Cena used the title, and just like that, John Cena won the WWE Championship. And I'll post my reaction because somebody at WWE videoed me reacting to the match and then videoed me reacting to the main event. And you'll see how I reacted. I was dismayed. And not like, oh man, like when Paul Heyman turned on Roman Reigns, if the video was on me, I was screaming in the audience, no, don't do it. When John Cena pinned Cody Rhodes, I put my hands up like, no, what? That? I tweeted out WTF, this can't be. And then Cody Rhodes walks up the aisle in dismay, and John Cena walks up the aisle. And I'm going, how could this be how WrestleMania Night 2 ends? Now look, I've said last night, and I agree with the sentiment tonight, that this year's WrestleMania, more so than ever, follows in the sentiment of WrestleMania being the spot where the next chapter begins. That everything kind of moves forward from WrestleMania. And I think that that's happening across the board. I gave examples of why it happened last night. I think tonight you got Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch as a tag team. Becky Lynch is back in the WWE. You have Karrion Kross and AJ Styles going forward. You have Dominic Mysterio as the Intercontinental Champion. Drew McIntyre is a whole new force because he beat Damian Priest. And two things. What's next for John Cena? We know he's going to be at Raw. And what the hell is next for Cody Rhodes? Where does Cody even go from here? And, I don't think Cody's cooked by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, Cody was booed, but I don't think they were real boos. I think it was like almost experiential, and maybe I'm being naive, maybe I'm being silly, but it felt more like it was like, yeah, we're part of this experience where we get to see John Cena as a heel for the first time at WrestleMania. We're going to have fun and cheer it. And then that becomes contagious. I don't think people are booing Cody's character. As a matter of fact, I think that on SmackDown, and I talked about it on the emergency pod, we've had emergency pods 3 days this week, on the emergency pod after SmackDown, that it strikes me that Cody has control of the audience more so than most superstars. I mean, Cody is incredible at this. The fact that Cody's able to win a crowd back, and I think he'll continue to do that if people try to continue to boo him. You know, I don't think Cody's in any trouble in that direction, but I do think that we have to figure out who Cody is now without the title. We knew who Cody was we knew who Cody was when, or Cody Rhodes was when he was chasing that title. Now he doesn't have it. Of course there's money in the chase. Of course we want to see Cody, but Cody's not finishing the story anymore. Cody's not finishing this lifetime goal. It's a different thing now, and we have never seen that side of Cody. As far as the match itself goes, it was what it was. It was John Cena doing his John Cena moves and getting a lot over Cody Rhodes. But ultimately, the more I thought about it, the more I felt, look, did I feel happy coming off of WrestleMania? No. Did I feel fulfilled? No. Did I feel satiated as a wrestling fan? Absolutely not. Coming off of that main event. The rest of it, amazing. Last night's main event, satiated. Tonight's main event, not satiated, not fulfilled. And why is that? Maybe that's what John Cena meant when he said he was going to ruin wrestling. Maybe this new version of John Cena is like, how meta are we going to go with this? Maybe he's actively going, I'm not going to give you the WrestleMania main event you want. I'm not going to give you this epic confrontation. I'm not going to give you what you want. I don't know how many times I can tell you this. I'm not going to give you what you want. I'm not giving you the WrestleMania main event that you want. I'm not going to give you the result that you want. I'm not giving you a Titantron. I'm not giving you an entrance. He went to the press conference and he wouldn't answer any questions. And he wouldn't answer any questions, but he also took no ownership over not answering the questions. He said he wasn't going to answer the questions because they felt like clickbait. And he said he would be on Raw, and that's the headline that people can get. John Cena is a 17-time world champion. And I think this main event is going to be something that lives in history for a lot of reasons. Some of them not great, some of them good. But I think that this is all, and I think it's all obviously part of a bigger story. I think this is the beginning of John Cena trying to ruin things. And maybe that's where the build in Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton or whoever these baby faces are going to be that are going to have to stop John Cena. I think the idea of John Cena ruining wrestling starts with John Cena ruining this WrestleMania main event and going like, you're not getting it. You're not getting what you want. And I think that when I think about it that way, I think that now we're expanding our vision of what this can be, and maybe it's even bigger, and maybe they're trying new things and new ways to tell stories. I don't know. But I will tell you, a WrestleMania without a happy ending is tough. It's tough. And that's what we got with John Cena. Not only not giving us a happy ending, but, we didn't get the Avengers. We didn't get this thing. We got John Cena, who is now a 17-time world champion. He now has the record, and he did it once as a heel. I don't know. I find it difficult to believe that people will continue to cheer him, but it's very, very possible. I'm very interested to see what he's got to say on Raw. And I'm very interested to see what's next for Cody Rhodes. Because now it's almost like the whole roster, and this is from a character perspective, are going to be able to run around going like, hey, this is an open spot now. Hey, because Cody Rhodes literally put QB1 on his t-shirt sleeve, calls himself the captain, calls himself the quarterback. Well, guess what? John Cena took that away from you. And maybe that's where we're going. Maybe Cody Rhodes rebuilding himself to be in that spot. But if Roman Reigns is a babyface now, who's to say Roman won't be the one chasing John Cena? Who's to say Drew McIntyre, babyface or heel, won't be the one chasing John Cena? Who's to say Seth Rollins isn't going to turn around and say, no, Cody, you can't just keep having the title. I'm going to take the title away from you the same way I stopped Roman Reigns, the same way I stopped all these guys. Maybe. I don't know. But I do think the more I thought about it, the more I was like, listen, John Cena is doing exactly what he said he was going to do on all levels. I'm going to ruin wrestling. How are you going to do that? Watch me. Cody, you're going to have the opportunity to win, but you're going to do what you think the fans think is right. How's he going to do that? Watch him. He's calling his shots right now, man. And that's kind of where I landed on the main event of this year's WrestleMania. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I would imagine we will not have a Monday morning podcast, obviously, because most of you are probably listening to this on Monday morning, but I will have a lot more thoughts on this maybe as the week progresses. I would love to hear what you have to say in the comments. And maybe, depending on what happens on Raw Monday, we'll meet up again for another emergency pod. If not, we will have a Raw recap pod for all that too. So make sure you're checking this out. Make sure you're checking that out. Make sure you're subscribed across all audio platforms. Notsam Wrestling on YouTube. Comments, likes, subscribes. And we will see you, I would imagine, within 24 hours for another Notsam Wrestling, I would imagine, emergency podcast.